And so in this video, we want to look at customizing virtual machines in Parallels Desktop 4.0 for Mac. In the last two videos, we installed Windows XP Professional, and we've installed the Parallels tools, which the first thing you will notice is that I'm clicking inside the virtual machine, and I'm clicking out of the virtual machine, and we can freely use the mouse. You can tell because in Windows XP the mouse is white, and in Mac the mouse icon is black, and we can move around and do whatever we want. This is because the Parallels tools allows the virtual machine to recognize your mouse, so you don't have to use the Control Options key or the Control Alt key to get in and out of your virtual machine. Another nice thing you will notice is that when we go into full screen mode here, the virtual machine Parallels Desktop 4.0 has changed the resolution of your virtual machine so that it matches the screen resolution on your actual system. And another nice thing you'll notice is this Parallels Tools folder, which we'll look at when we discuss sharing. So let's get back into window mode here, and we want to look at customizing your virtual machine. The first thing I want to do is I want to look at the menuing options so that you know all of your options here in the Parallels Desktop. This is the same thing we did when we looked at VirtualBox. So let's go ahead and look at this here. First thing we want to do is look at preferences, which we looked at earlier, but I want to reiterate and talk about this in more detailed. General, this is where all of your Parallels virtual machines are saved by default. I save my virtual machines on an external hard disk so I can preserve space for my system, since I'm very limited on space. Here, keyboard and mouse. This is where all the nice little shortcuts. These are all the keys for Parallels. I have customized my Windows keys, so I use the Shift Alt C to get into Coherent, Shift Alt F to get in full screen, and Shift Alt M to get in Melody. Those are the combinations that I use. It says here Alt Shift, but I say it backwards. The default in Parallels is the Control Command Return to get in Coherence, the Alt Command Return to get in full screen, the Control Alt Command Return key to get in Melody, and the Control Alt to release the input, which isn't necessary when you have the Parallels tools installed, and as well as other commands here. But I've customized my keys to fit my preferences, but you can change it. You have here your mouse, appearances. You can change. Notice how when we switch into full screen mode, it transitions in a cube interface. You can change that to any type of animation you want. Choose the different transition animations. Memory, network, which I've said to leave alone, USB, speech, iPhone preferences, update, feedback. In the menuing options, you have About Parallels, which tells you a little bit about your Parallels desktop and about the version that you're using. Preferences, which we just looked at. Services and other options here. File allows you to create a new virtual machine. Open, you can open virtual machines. You can download appliances. Run Parallels Transporter, which we'll look at in upcoming videos, which allows you to import VMware Fusion or VMware virtual machines into Parallels. You can use View to get into Coherence, full screen, Melody. You can customize the toolbar. This is the default look of the toolbar. You have the shutdown, suspend, configure, full screen, and Coherence. Virtual machine, you can start, suspend, pause. You can pause virtual machines like we looked at in VirtualBox. shut down, stop, restart, reset, configure. You can also take snapshots. Notice how Parallels has a lot of the same features that we saw in VirtualBox and more. Manage screenshots, clips. You can reinstall Parallels tools. You can run the compressor, which compresses the disks. Install Parallels Internet Security, which is a nice security suite that you can, which is quite recommended if you're going to be connecting to the internet. Devices, you can go ahead and connect, install CDs, the CD drive and images, network adapter, parallel port, sound. You can mute the sound, you can activate or deactivate sound, you can change which sound device you want to use for the input, output. You can configure the sound, connect USB devices, share folders. Window, you can view the list. This is the list here. Let's get back. And these options are viewed once you're inside the virtual machine. And you have the window here, applications. This is quite handy when you go into coherence mode as well. You can say start menu. This stuff works when you're in coherence mostly, and help. What we want to do is we want to shut down our Windows XP virtual machine. And what we want to do is we want to configure, I should say, the settings. Remember when we looked at in the last video about showing the package contents? Now that we have the operating system installed and shut down, we can go ahead and view the contents using the the Parallels Explorer. We can view the disk, and this is pretty much the same thing as viewing the contents. If we right click and say configure, we can see the general. We can change the operating system description, boot order. We can change the boot order, start up and shut down, the same. And we can choose to start the virtual machine in a window, full screen, coherence, or medley mode. We can turn on automatic when we open up the Parallels. We can choose what to do when we say stop virtual machine. It asks us, we can choose if we want it to ask us what we want to do, stop or suspend. Optimize. We can optimize and activate the adaptive hypervisor. We can optimize the virtual machine for virtual machine use or Mac OS X use. Battery, security, services, clipboard settings, drag and drop. You can drag and drop files between your Mac and Windows when it's started. Your shared folders, you can go ahead and add shared. You can add folders from your Mac and share it in your Windows operating system. Your sharing profile, which allows you to share your documents, pictures, and music folder in your desktop and sync that with your Windows XP or Vista or Windows 7 disk. Your virtual machine. Share applications. You can choose which applications open in which operating system. Smart Mount allows Parallels to mount. Ask you if you want to mount devices on your Mac or Windows. Smart Guard. Internet applications. You can choose the internet applications, which application runs in which operating system. Coherence. You can change the behavior of coherence. Medley. CPUs. You can change the number of CPUs. You can change the memory. Let's change that to 1 gig. Video. You can change the amount of video memory. Floppy. CD. Enable disconnect the CD, the hard disk. And in the compressor, the Parallels compressor, you can also compress and add more space to hard disk if you need more space. The network adapter, which I've said to constantly leave alone. Parallel port, sound, and USB controller. And that's pretty much the configuration options you have for Parallels Desktop. In the next video, we will be looking at coherence mode and Matterly mode and all those other modes. So that's what we'll be looking at in the next video. That's it for this video.